Oh, hi, I'm Rayford, and thank you for joining me for Paragon. So, the Monkey King has arrived. He's here on Agora to be giving us trouble. I've tried him out. I just gotta say, man, he is bananas. If you don't want to have to like go up against him, like if you're weak or whatever, or if you just don't want to have to like fight him, I would highly suggest making an escape. Sorry, not sorry. Monkey puns aside, he's a lot of fun. I did play him in a bot game really quick. We're going to be jumping into another bot game with him. But before we do, I want to go ahead and kind of overview his moves, mainly because he's way different than what we're used to here with all the other heroes that we've gotten so far. So let's take a look at what he does. So what makes Wukong unique? It's the fact that he can actually swap between an offensive and an evasive stance, and depending on which stance he's in, it adjusts like how his moves and react, basically how his abilities kind of act and what they do exactly. So we'll cover the offensive moves first, and then we'll go along the list again and cover the evasive moves, and we'll save his ultimate for last, mainly because it's actually pretty cool, and I think it kind of deserves just a moment to talk about by itself. So offensive moveset. Well, first off, his left click, his melee basic attack, it just deals basic damage. Then in the offensive stance for his right click, it's the Staff of Legend. So essentially, when you're in offensive stance, you push somebody and your clones 900 units away from you, basically the length of the staff. His Q is Cloudwalker. In the offensive stance, it's a jump that ends in a 300 radius slam that deals 60 ability damage and applies a negative 200 slow for 2 seconds. Just a quick note, he actually is the only hero, well, besides Kalari, that can also double jump. So it's actually got its own little cooldown, 14 seconds, but doesn't cost any mana if you activate it. Control Aggression actually is what swaps him between his offensive and evasive stances. So basically, like, when you unlock this and you see like enemy minions, and when his eyes like flame or like flare or whatever, I'll show you like during the match, but there's a 25% chance that Wukong will spot a minion with a spirit that grants additional bonuses when they're slain. So basically, if you hit the last hit in the offensive stance, any minion that you kill grants 40 bonus CXP when slain, and that goes up to I think 100, maybe 80. I don't know, we'll find out. Switching back over to the evasive stance in the Staff of Legend, if you're in evasive stance, instead of dealing damage, Wukong will extend his staff into the ground for a directional leap that launches him into the air. The Cloudwalker evasive stance, the jump will basically grant you airwalking and a 250 max movement speed increase for 1 second. With Control Aggression, killing the marked minions will heal Wukong by 40 health when slain. And then finally his ultimate, the thing we're going to cover by itself. The passive is basically like, upon connecting with a basic attack, Wukong will create an immobile clone which attacks all targets within melee range, and the clones deal 20% of his basic attack damage per attack and will disappear either after 5 seconds or 3 attacks. So essentially, like, they'll attack, and if they connect with something, that counts as an attack for them. So it's a little funky, but it's actually kind of cool. Again, we'll cover this during the match, but yeah, that's his moveset. He's definitely a lot of fun to play as. He definitely has a pretty high skill cap. Just getting used to the different like movesets and everything and figuring out which stance is which. Yeah. But anyway, we'll go ahead and jump into a quick little bot match, and I'll show him off for you guys. So I've got this deck, Giving You Grief. It's by no means anywhere near finalized. It's just something I kind of threw together. So yeah, we'll see. I'm just going to take it and tweak it as time goes by. But to start, I like to grab the Control Aggression, mainly because, again, this lets me either get bonus CXP or get health. So, bye-bye. And right now I'm in the evasive stance. So you can tell it's evasive because the staff is like, it's kind of in this back position and it's glowing white. You press it again though, now you're in the offensive stance and it's held kind of more aggressively, almost parallel to the ground, and it's on fire. So fire usually means aggression. I'm just throwing that out there. Locate again, Scorch. Let's see. Okay, so you can see this minion right here is all red and fiery and stuff. Oh no, and I'm under tower. That means that he, if we last hit him in this stance, will give us a bonus CXP. So really want to try and get the last hit on him. Come here, bud. Hey, man. And totally missed it. I've noticed that there is, there's been a few times in the first match that I played where multiple minions will get, like, the targeting thing. So definitely, and like when you get your ult, holy cow. I'm not gonna get that one though. It sucks. But okay, actually, you know what? Okay, interesting. Something I didn't notice before is that it shows like it appears as its own CXP tally, really. So oh hey, so it also counts on this guy. But so the 40, and then it tallies up to 300. Interesting. Did not catch that last time. Okay, wow, yeah. So you can see that there are 3 in this case, where there's 3 that are marked. So it's definitely really. Come on, Countess, be cool. Where there's 3, or like more than 1 that can be marked at a time. So I'll take all that extra CXP, and then as you level it up, it gives you more CXP or more health regen whenever you mark one. So definitely makes him a strong farmer if he can land those last hits. And I'm out of here. And that was the wrong. See, it's still taking me a little bit to. Ow! Good hit. Still taking me a little bit to get used to the stances. I got to pay attention to that. But practice makes perfect. Alright, so we're going to show off his ult really quick, kind of show how it works. So, hit somebody, the clone spawns. Hit him again, clone spawns. Hit him a third time, clone spawns. But after the third hit, they start to despawn. However, I can back, and I've got 3 right there, and they're going to stay for another few seconds. And then they despawn on their own. So they have a pretty fixed attack speed. Yeah, so after they land like their 3 attacks, or again after 5 seconds, whichever comes first, I guess, they despawn. But they do an AOE damage, so they can do like in like a wave of minions or in a tower or whatever. They can do a lot actually. Ooh, there's a few here. I'm gonna try and take some of these last hits from poor Red Grux here. Sorry, Gruxy. Now, I mean, it shows that there were 4 there for a second. That's kind of a little deceiving because, well, like, okay, so we have a third. Yeah, it's a little deceiving. Hey, man, that was my tower. But essentially, like, they won't. You can't ever have 3 more attacking it, more than 3 attacking a target at a time. Essentially. Again, it's a little deceiving in like the way that they appear and whatnot, but well, that's just the way it is. I said that's good. That's one less thing. We're gonna try and go kill Countess over here. What's up, Countess? No, oh, don't run. I'm gonna try and get the movement speed going. Come here, girl. Swiggity swooty. All right. Well, I guess she's just gonna run. That's cool too. Oh, hey, Rampage. That's all right. We'll blast him back. Try and hey man. Gotta switch back over to our offensive stance. And sure, that works too. Just kill him like that. That works too. So I'm gonna switch back over to evasive. Try and get some farm going. Oh goodness, this is gonna be bad. I'm just gonna try and kite and try and go for the lifesteal. Hey, we're alive. Yeah, yes. Alright, that's right. That was one thing I forgot to mention, is you can actually activate the, whatchamacallit, Staff of Legend from Cloudwalk. Oh no, I'm out of here. Oh, she is so close to dead. Yeah, you can activate Staff of Legend from Cloudwalk, so as to sort of give yourself an extra little sort of jump or boost. Whatever. Lets you cover a little bit more distance, a little easier, all that good stuff. Okay, so right there was that like eye flare thing, and then you saw like the marked target appear. That's sort of like your visual indicator showing that like, hey, there's a target in this area, and it's marked. Try and kill it, because you wants to kill it. You won't kill it dead. So yeah, if you ever like just kind of run around and you see the eye flare thing happening, that's what that is. Crux, where are you going, bud? Where are you going? Okay, bye. So like right. The thing is, though, it's also additionally deceiving because it can also happen to, I think, minions through walls. So You really got to keep an eye open. Huh. So I did that because his eyes flare, and that's what the indicator is. Rip. So one thing also to keep in mind is like Wukong really needs to be able to sort of like fight amongst his sort of clones really, in order to dagnabbit. In order to really get the extra damage from them. They've got, again, it's just melee range, so I mean, if you aren't in melee range, then oh, gosh dang it, come here, come here. Oh, I'm so dead. This is a mistake. Mistakes were made. Go away. Hey, good job, Gadget. Proud of you. What? Something was over here. You flare. Okay, cool. As I was saying, kiting an enemy outside of like his effective range for his clones basically just means that like, well, I mean, you're dealing less DPS. That's really what it means. They only have relatively short range. It's melee range, so you need to be able to. Oh God. Oof. Okay. You need to keep targets within melee range. Otherwise, it's just going to reduce your DPS because enemies are just going to walk away from it, and that doesn't help you at all. Really. You're still chasing. Go away. One additional thing is, I mean, he's not mana intensive at all. In fact, the only ability that actually uses mana is his Staff of Legend. Yeah, and even then, it's like the mana cost is super low. It's 55 mana. Really, Bellic? You're just gonna stand there, huh? Cool. That was easy. Yeah, it's 55 mana, so it's incredibly low cost. So I mean, there's no real reason to not to use it and abuse it. It's got, I think, a bit of a, I mean, kind of a long cooldown. I think it's 12 seconds, and I've got it 1 point leveled up. So here we're about to see a lot of the power that he can do. I mean, I'm only 26 card points in. I don't have a whole lot. I've got 7 minions with me, so, but even still, I mean, you can just see how we're just kind of chunking through this tower. And that's really where he like sort of shines. Is if you let him build up clones, he's just gonna wreck shop. That's really what it is. He'll do a lot of DPS very quickly based on these clones, and like if you let him start to snowball, then you know it's gonna end pretty poorly for your team. Okay, so kind of closing thoughts about Wukong so far. I think that he's actually in a good place. He can farm really well, kind of mid to later game, but a lot of carries can already. A lot of his utility comes from his ability to split push. So I don't really think he's overpowered. I think if you let him fight on his terms, you're going to die. If you let him have his way with towers, he's going to take him down. But that's also kind of the way with some carries as it is. I mean, you can't let a Revenant sort of choose the engagement for you. Same with Yin, same with Sparrow. He's a carry. He's going to do a lot of damage. You can't let them just go to town on your towers either. His kit is definitely interesting. I like it a lot. There's a very high skill cap. One thing I noticed in the latter stages of that bot game is that his control aggression also procs on raptors, which, I mean, I guess kind of makes sense. But, I mean, if you're farming raptors and it pops up and it's another 100 CXP on top of the 800 that they already give you, it's a nice little bonus. So, I mean, kind of keep your eye on that. Yeah, he's definitely interesting. I can definitely see him being a very unpredictable hero. I mean, I think he has an elusive trait anyway, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely. If you're in an engagement against him and like if he's starting to pop those clones, back away. Make him come to you. Let him chase you. Their range is basically melee range, but they're immobile. So, you know, if you're trying to fight in them, it's basically, you know, at max level for him, it's 40% of whatever damage he can do, they also do. So, I mean, you know, basically, do you want somebody that's also hitting like 40% of whatever he's doing on top of what he already does? It's insane. Again, choose your fights with him. Don't let him choose the fight for you. If you're the Wukong, maybe try and bait him. That's all I can really recommend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button down below. Leave a comment. Let me know, have you guys played Wukong yet? I want to know your thoughts on him so far. I'm looking forward to getting into a couple of matches with him at some point here in the near future. But that's it for me. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.